Ever wondered how sailors on the high seas in the age of sail manage something we all take for granted? Going to the loo? Well, grab your seasickness bags because what you're about to hear is a wild ride through history's most uncomfortable restroom situations. Welcome back to the channel History Decoded. If you're new here, today we're diving into the unsung stories of sailors' daily lives. From cramped quarters to the unforgiving elements, life on the ocean was far from glamorous. And today we're tackling one of the most pressing questions. Where did sailors go to the bathroom? Imagine this. You're 200 miles from the nearest shore, stuck on a wooden ship that's constantly rocking, and nature calls. On most ships during the age of sail, the answer wasn't as simple as heading to the nearest bathroom. Sailors didn't have the luxury of private bathrooms. Instead, they had what were known as the heads, a crude setup on the bow of the ship, exposed to the elements. We're talking about a wooden seat with a hole in the floor, which would drop waste directly into the ocean. And if the weather was bad, well, it was a perilous journey to reach these facilities, often made even worse by high winds and crashing waves. But here's where it gets interesting. While the sailors were suffering in the open, officers and passengers had a different experience. These lucky individuals had access to private latrines, often attached to the aftercastle. You could almost say their loo experience was the early version of luxury. And if you thought the situation couldn't get worse, consider this. When storms hit and sailors couldn't use the heads, they'd resort to chamber pots below deck. But these weren't your modern, sturdy containers. These were flimsy, poorly secured pots, prone to spilling on a rolling ship. You can imagine how unsanitary things got, right? And then there's the bilge, the lowest part of the ship, where all waste would eventually accumulate, forming a disgusting cesspool that no sailor could escape. The conditions were so bad that when water leaked into the ship, the waste had to be pumped out. And the smell? Let's just say it was described as unfit for tongue and palate. Interestingly, sailors didn't just have to deal with the waste, but also the social impact of it. Imagine the humiliation of being on a ship, enduring the smell, the lack of privacy, and the constant exposure. This truly was a test of a sailor's morale and resilience, not just physical endurance. If you're fascinated by life on the high seas, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We have more historical stories coming your way, and you won't want to miss them. Drop a comment below and tell us, what do you think was the worst part of sailing life in the age of sail? Thanks for watching, and remember, before you ever complain about your modern bathroom, think of these sailors braving the elements, high seas, and very questionable hygiene. See you next time.